Lana Del Rey's set in the Palomino tent at Stagecoach Friday night had been billed in the original festival advertising as a very special country set, but what that would entail, and whether it would truly resemble anyone else's version of country, was anybody's guess. After the 65-minute performance was over, it was still kind of anybody's guess, at least inasmuch as no thumbnail sketch or easy catchphrase could quite nail down what exactly she was up to, apart from a few obvious genre nods. But was it beautiful? Yes, that, more than anything else, is still her base genre. There have been not always consistent signals about whether her forthcoming album would really be a country release or not. She kind of indicated it was, then said it wasn't, all before a booking was announced for her to appear in a side tent at the most famous country festival in the West. At Stagecoach, she nodded to forebears by singing the Tammy Wynette smash Stand By Your Man near the beginning and John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads at the very end. There was a steel player on stage, and the production design had her in the countryside, swinging on a rope swing and/or porch swing in front of a cabin. Yet there was nothing predictably country about the new music she was premiering or the rearrangements of familiar catalog choices. It was full Lanacore at the core. Del Rey has a penchant for filling her songs with quirky and sometimes bold autobiographical details, and the new material appears to be right in line with that tradition. Certainly, there will be no bigger startled laugh in the history of Stagecoach past, present, or future than the one Del Rey got by name-checking no less a fellow superstar than Morgan Wallen, as part of a new song called 57.5. The title of the song takes its name from the repeated line, "I got 57.5 million listeners on Spotify." Quick spot fact check. Del Rey now has 59.4 million Spotify listeners, so maybe we can carbon date the writing of the song by how long it took her to add to the lyrics total. But the real keeper line of the track, which she vowed to sing only once before she uttered it, is, "I kissed Morgan Wallen." Say what? The crowd roar was so loud, even on the streaming feed, that it had the audience stepped on her next line, which some listeners wrote down as, "I guess kissing me kind of went to his head." It died down just long enough to hear her sing, "If you want my secret to success, don't go ATVing with him when you're out west." That may count as a little TMI for Lana fans who don't necessarily want that picture in their minds. But oddly, that's not the only country superstar she name-checks in the song. She also cites Roger Miller, although she does not make any claims about having kissed the late, very late, singer-songwriter. Getting a laugh wasn't what much of the rest of the performance was about, though. Lana was in languid mode for the entirety of the set. Think of her headlining set at Coachella last year. The early, slow parts, extended further and without the pick-me-up selections near the end. Del Rey doesn't just stand by her man. She stands by her own style. In some ways, her set at Stagecoach was similar to what Post Malone was doing on the same grounds this time last year. Doing a support set meant to ingratiate a pop superstar to the country audience shortly before the release of an album that has been tagged as being for them. But in many ways, the two performances couldn't have been more different. Doing a full set of twangy covers in 2024, Malone made it clear that he was coming to the country audience. They wouldn't have to come to him. But even though there was nothing the slightest bit ungracious or ungenerous about her performance, it was felt more like the audience being asked to come to her. This wasn't a big ask, by the way. The audience in the Palomino tent sang along with every word of the familiar songs at Era's tour-level volumes. The audience seen on camera appeared to be 100% Lana heads who just happened to have put on pink cowboy hats for the night. This would be in contrast to the audience at home, likely equally transfixed but with pen in hand, trying to jot down every discernible lyric of the songs that were getting first-time performances, not just 57.5 but Husband of Mine, the probable name, at least, of the new tune that opened the show, and Quiet in the South. That latter song began with a prelude of mariachi-style horns, then graduated to a gentle bed of piano, acoustic guitar, and barely audible pedal steel, with Del Rey asking the musical question, "Should I turn on the light, or burn down the house?" A rhetorical question, of course. Her backup dancers, who were around more as friendly presences than doing choreography, took some canisters and appeared to be miming dousing the cabin with gasoline. Then projections onto the structure created the illusion of fire.